Hey, 462904. We're live by the looks of it, anyway. I'm assuming we're live anyway. If we're not, we're fucking dead, obviously. Got a bit of techno going on in the background here. I have no idea what they're going to serve us up on the techno front tonight. We played drum and bass last week, so tonight's techno. So I think we can get away with techno on fucking YouTube. I don't know. It's still light outside here. Still light. Hey, James. Yeah, we're live. Cheers, everybody. We're still a fucking live. Believe it or not, we're still live. Of course, I left it to the last minute, the last 10 minutes to get the stream up and running, right? So I'm always behind the fucking ball here. And but anyway, Um, obviously, we got sound coming through, and I'll just take it as read that everything's hunky dory. So, what was on the agenda for tonight? I have no fucking idea what's on the agenda tonight. Really, none at all. So, have a few stories lined up, a few interesting ones. Actually, a number of interesting stuff. Some interesting stuff, So, I might have to pause the music here and there in between because I think there's a couple of videos and stuff attached and a few bits and pieces. So I might have to see if I can get coordinated to play them at the right time without the music and stuff So hopefully this out fucking techno. But it's kind of cool to have a bit of fucking something going on in the background and to be honest, I know Cookie and Pete like to play a little bit of rock and roll, but it's rock and roll is not my fucking scene either. Now, in the meantime, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't actually log into Rumble. I didn't log into Rumble yet, so I'm going to do that right now and check over on the chat on Rumble just to keep in touch with anybody who might be tuned in there. I wonder will raccoons. There's a problem with Rumble, Rumble can be a real pain. Oh, I see. The Starfish Troopers are doing their Starfish Gamers tonight. So yeah, not exactly my scene. But anyway, let's log into the Rumble, and Rumble looks really quiet there, and I need to log in over at the Raconteurs website, raconteursnews.com, colon 8080. For anybody who doesn't know, we are over there on 8080 as well, too, on raconteursnews.com and raconteursnews.co.uk. And it looks like I might be the only one there as well, too. But that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that we have that fucking backup if we need it, and that's the main thing. How you doing, Chris? And how you doing, Tony, mate? Welcome one and all. Welcome one and all. Another here we go. Another Saturday fucking night live, and I have been enjoying these Saturday nights. So I have actually, it's like Saturday night's kind of like a chilled out night to be doing this shit. Like it's not like I'd be fucking doing anything else. So where the fuck would I be? Where the fuck would I be only here? Like with the crew. So I hope you're all drinking pints of urine tonight and eating plutonium and getting your templates downloaded from allegedly Dave's website because we're ready to rumble here. We're ready to rumble indeed. I was It was kind of funny, man, listening to Allegedly Dead. I know it's a bit dark here tonight, by the way. It's a little bit dark, right? Because still got a bit of light outside, so there's no harm just making the most of the last of the of the summer evening light. I love it. Like, I much prefer the natural light if I can get it at all. That's just the way I fucking roll. And so when it gets totally dark outside, I'll switch the artificial LED on, even though it's apparently bad for my eyes. But I'll tell you what, my eyes just couldn't get any fucking worse. So it is what it is. So, but yeah, hopefully you're all keeping up with your daily dose of pints of piss to correct all those little problems that we have with our bodies. Like, it's like, oh man, it was I, I don't know. I don't know. I just drinking pints of piss now is just wouldn't be my thing. Just hey, Kendo. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Kenda was saying about a thunderstorm, and we had loads of thunderstorms here over the last number of weeks. It's been pretty spectacular, like nothing amazing, like but a little bit spectacular, like So like yeah, there was some cool thunderstorms over the last number of weeks, like which you kind of expect, like. Although, like it's kind of seems like we've drifted kind of out of summer. It's like this global warming thing just decided to go into fucking reverse all of a sudden. So I don't know what's going on with this global warming stuff, like, but um, I want more of it. If there is global warming going on, I tell you what, I want a bit more of it, not fucking this shit, like where we're almost in fucking winter, right in the middle of what's supposed to be summer. Hey, yes, W boxing. Kind of funny, like because I went in for a few beers yesterday. Well, I didn't go to a pub. I don't do pubs, man. So it's not my fucking scene, like But I went in to grab a few fucking cans of takeout, like as I do. Like I'm totally absorbed in my Polish piss tonight. So like when you're in trouble, like it's apparently according to allegedly Dave, it's okay to drink somebody else's piss. So I'm drinking Polish piss tonight. And do you know what? I think it's fucking working. I do think it's fucking working, man. Yeah, that's definitely fucking working, man. Definitely. So, um, yeah, I met Marie. I met Marie, who the other as I went and bought a few cans yesterday. I met Marie on the way back, and she is actually the proprietor of our local um, drinking hole here in well, it's not, it's one of a few, like there used to be a lot more back in the day, like, but obviously, like with the recession going on, lots of places have gone, like Edgeworthstown here where I live was almost like a fucking dead zone, like, but it's coming back to life. And I see a little bit of life coming back into it now. A few more places are opening up, so hopefully like that will continue, like, because we have a very, very increased population here now. It's like our population has more or less doubled in the last 20 years. So it seems appropriate that like a few more places, establishments would open up, like shops, stores, pubs. Hopefully, like there seems to be more fast food places than anything else, though. That's the only downside of what I'm seeing going on. Like we have more Chinese restaurants than pubs. Like back in the day, like we would have pubs like coming out your fucking ears, man. There used to be 17 pubs in this small town. We're down to about maybe, I think we're down to about 5 pubs now. It's like, whoa, good God. It's like, but anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, so, but I met Marie outside her establishment yesterday, and I got into I got into a bit of a discussion with her, as you do, as you do. Um, and she was talking about the cold. She says, "Yeah, yeah, Marie. You know what? This global warming is getting really bad now, isn't it? Like, and it's. Do you know what? I'm not able for this global warming now anymore. It's just getting too intense." And she was looking at me like, and she was thinking, she knows, right? And poor Anne Marie, right? She is the normiest of the normies that are going on. It's only about 2 months ago that she actually took her mask off, right? This is where her state of mind was, right? She's only after taking her fucking mask off. So that'll sort of like give you an idea of where some of these people are, like, and um but I think they're getting it now. I think they're actually getting it now. It's like it's all bullshit. I think that s- slowly but surely we're getting there, and I think they're getting on board. I just wonder, will they survive the next psyop? Though I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they'll survive the next psyop, because we can be sure the next psyop is coming. But at the end of the day, going by the few-minute conversation I had with her yesterday, it was like she's not buying it. She's not buying this global warming shit, man. No, no, no. She's not buying it. And she was all in on the masks, though. She was way, way in on the masks for so long. Like, I got a shock. I got a shock about maybe 2 months ago when I seen her out and about without the mask, and I nearly had a heart attack, and it was just shit, man. Is it shedding? Perhaps there's shedding going on. I nearly had a fucking currently fucking attack, like, and I was starting to think like there was some shedding going on, but no, no, no. She's just after fucking coming to her senses, like, and but there's still a lot of people. There's still a lot of people out there who won't drop the mask. They won't get rid of it. I was looking at a couple of fucking choice characters there yesterday. Our local taxi driver, for example, Peter, and he won't take that mask off for loving the fucking money. He's married to it now, and I don't know what's going on inside those cars as such, like. But the passenger who was taken also had his mask on, and he got out, went into the supermarket. I was watching this going on. I was just thinking, this is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's like, I mean, what am I supposed to make of it? It's like, I don't know. If I was if I was overly emotional about a fucking lot of shit, like I would just probably think, I want to run up to them and fucking bash their heads off the fucking taxi. Says, get a fucking grip, lad. What do you do with that? But like, I'm not there anymore. It's like I don't care anymore. It's like everybody has to do what they fucking want to do, man. If they want to keep on wearing those fucking silly cloth masks, just carry on. Just let me know how it works out for you. It's like, it's like, but slowly but surely, people are dropping the habit, like, of going out. How you doing, John Smith? Are you well? Thanks for joining in. But I think slowly but surely, I think people are just dropping all that bullshit. It's just falling off by the wayside, and that's but that doesn't mean like I'm hoping for their future. I'm hoping for our future, but I'm just not hoping for a lot of these people who just fell into the traps, like, um, you know, people don't. uh, A lot of people don't learn. It's like, I'm not saying everybody doesn't learn, but a lot of people won't learn, and it's only a matter of time now before the next scare comes along, right? And how will they react? I'm kind of waiting. That's what I'm waiting to see. How are people going to react when the next scare comes along? CMB, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Tony's saying, mark my words, if things keep going in the same trajectory, the young adults will be surrendering their parents, grandparents to be euthanized for a few extra bonus credits. I hear you, Tony. Like, but I'm quite hopeful for our future. I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. And I can't go down that line myself personally because you know, if I was to be thinking like that all the fucking time, man, do you know what? I'd be in a constant state of negativity, man. I'd be worn out. I'd be in a constant state of fear myself personally, and I can't think like that. It's like, you know, nothing is written in stone. The future has not been written yet. That is still to be written, and I have a lot of hope for our future. I mean, I have a lot of hope for the young people because you know what? They're not as fucking. I think the young people have a lot more going for them than we give them credit for. I mean, at the end of the day, if I was to think about myself personally, about where I am now and about where my parents were, like obviously they were from a time prior to when there was internet and easy access to information and stuff like that. They were way ahead as well too, even without that. No, and so I have a lot of hope that the genetic memory is stronger than any programming that can be fucking instilled even on babies. I'm convinced there's nothing that they can fucking do because eventually the pendulum will eventually swing the other fucking way. People are not meant to be locked up and trapped in these fucking situations where there's no hope. And I'm 100% convinced. I'm more so now than ever. People want to be free. People want to be fucking free. They have hearts. They have souls. Um, and whatever programming might be instilled is probably only temporary. And that's how I tend to look at things these days, Tony. So that's why I can't go down that road with you. Although I hear what you're saying, I do. I understand exactly what you're saying, and and if you were to just listen to the MSM and stuff like that one would be forgiven for thinking that's definitely the path that's written in stone. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it for one fucking second. The human spirit will fucking break through. We will be victorious. It's like no doubt in my mind at all. And whatever programming is going on now, it's only temporary, and it'll all settle down once people come to their senses. Because we've still got people trying to catch up. Look at it from this perspective, right? It's like we still have. Jimmy can't see it. Chris is saying Jimmy can't see any of my messages. Sorry, Chris. I was just fucking blathering on there. I can see your messages quite perfectly well. What did I miss? Clive Murray. Chris could never go below 3 masks. Hold on. Actually, Chris is. No, I'm actually. I'm sorry. I've just. I can't see people's messages, but when I'm ranting, sometimes when I'm on my fucking when I'm in the zone, right? Sometimes I'm in this fucking zone where it's like I'm just in my own mind here. It's like fucking hell. And I'm trying to suck stuff out of it, and spit it out, because after all, you know. So sometimes the chat just so I don't always be paying 100% close attention to the chat as much as I should, and you'll have to forgive me. It's one of my faults, and I've learned to forgive myself. Oh yeah, I got the wrong logo up. Yeah, Dr. Robert is a cunt, man. He really is a fucking cunt because he never puts it back. He always changes it, but he never fucking puts it back the way it's supposed to be. Let's try that one there. Let's go on our end. Should we do a Sherlock? I like a Sherlock. We'll do a Sherlock for. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, Dr. Robert. I'm gonna have to fucking pull him to one side and give him a goddamn fucking spanking for his tardiness, right? Yeah, don't worry. The last thing I want to do is advertise Robert's show because, like, I was listening to allegedly Dave there. I was like, oh my fucking god! It's like, holy shit. Where to start? Where to fucking start, man? I don't know. Kendall's saying I have no idea. Really. I just try not to watch the BBC. I think it's always very, very educational watching the BBC. It's like they're a bunch of fucking cunts, man. A bunch of fucking useless fucking idiots, man. Um, if they weren't so compromised and so fucked up in their heads, like they'd probably be quite decent individuals, like the people working for 'em. But because they're fucking corrupted, compromised, they're not allowed to be fucking decent individuals. They have to play their fucking part, but it is what it is. Like it is what it is. It's like where was I, man? I'm flipping fucking topic. I'm going around from one topic to a fucking other here. Allegedly, Dave. Allegedly, Dave. Well, I was with him, I was with him. I was almost getting ready to fucking piss into a pint glass and have a fucking pint, right? Nearly. And then he started talking about fucking plutonium, right? It's like, and I, I tell you what, that's where I fucking lost me marbles with him, like, and it's just like he started talking about plutonium and that, how well. Look, you can eat plutonium. You can hold plutonium, and they're trying to hide this from the fucking public, man. It's a fucking big goddamn fucking secret that you can fucking eat and hold plutonium. And it says, and I was there, I was listening to him, and it says, duh, you can actually hold plutonium? Really? You can actually eat plutonium? Duh. Like, what fucking planet was that fella on? Hold on, I'm going to get a bit of light on. It's getting a bit dark here, so it's like, duh, you can hold plutonium, and it's a big fucking secret. What? What the fuck are you on about? You fucking Jesus Christ, man! It's not a big fucking secret, man. It's well fucking known you can hold plutonium, and you can actually eat plutonium. You could get away with eating plutonium, right? But you got to be careful with it, right? I wouldn't advise it now. I wouldn't advise it. Patrick drunk his own piss and it turned him Jewish. John, have manners, have manners. I'm going to have to set the fucking moderators on you. We can't be having any of that stuff here. Oh, no. Yeah, Tony, piss drinking sounds like some new age fad. I'll tell you what, when he started talking about the fucking plutonium, right? And that's where he lost me completely. It was just like, as if it was some sort of fucking big secret that you could fucking hold plutonium. Like it's very well documented. Plutonium is very, very stable element. It actually gives off alpha radiation. It's not very dangerous. You can. I wouldn't recommend sleeping with a fucking lump of plutonium every fucking night. Or I wouldn't even recommend it like eating it with your dinner every day. But you could actually get away with eating a lump of plutonium. It actually depends. It depends a lot on um, how it gets into the body. Plutonium, that's a lump. That's a lump of plutonium. You ate a lump of plutonium accidentally, of course. I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine. Um, one day there was a big drama going on at the fucking front door, and I was there and I was listening to her having an argument with her fucking brother about fucking ex-wife, fucking Z. Well, I didn't give a fuck. It was not, couldn't give a fuck. And I was there, and I looked into the sitting room, and her little lad, he was 7 years old, right? And he was there, and he was playing with a little fucking round battery, right? And he put it into his mouth, and next thing, the little cunt swallowed it. It's like, and he was looking at me, and he's like, what did I do? It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck did you? What did you eat a fucking battery for, you little bollocks? It's like, fuck's sake. Kids, man, kids. I don't know how we ever fucking made it as far as we did. Like, it's just unreal. But this is people, right? This is people. But but yeah, plutonium, man, and the idea that plutonium is some sort of like conspiracy fucking theory that you can actually hold it and eat it, and of course you can fucking eat it. Like, it's not that fucking plutonium is very, very stable. It's quite safe. You could actually have a big lump of it in your home fucking for 60 years, and it mightn't do you any harm at all. That's just the fucking deal. But I was listening to Dave, and he was talking about it as if it was some sort of conspiracy theory. It's like, what the fuck you on about, man? You know? So, and then I'm thinking so that's the level of research that you've done into plutonium. And I'm supposed to take your word for it, and I'm supposed to start drinking pints of piss. Are you for fucking real? It's like, yeah, Tony, man, yeah. Drinking piss is probably like a cult identifier. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. It's like, um, that's where taking the piss comes from. Yeah, yeah, Chris, man. Yeah, it's like it was unreal, man. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then he started on about proof of his proof that the Earth was fucking flat, right? And the description he gave was very, very odd, right? It was like I was at water level, right? I was down at water level, and I was looking over the lighthouse, and the horizon was above the lighthouse. So the Earth must be fucking flat. No, hold on a second now, right? If the horizon is above the lighthouse, well, then obviously that's the ultimate proof that the Earth is not fucking flat. You fucking gobshite. It's like, what the fuck are you trying to fucking tell me here? I swear to God, man. At about fucking the hour and three-quarter mark, I just decided I was still listening in the background. I was still listening in the background, but only kind of. I was only kind of. I got busy with something else, like, but um, for some of these start coming on and just talking about plutonium like that it was like some sort of conspiracy that like and that you can actually like there's so many different forms of radiation. I was actually going to go into fucking but like what's the fucking point, man? I think everybody here knows that there's loads of different fucking radioactive elements, and some of them are more dangerous than the others, like, and that's just the way it is, man. It depends what way it gets into your fucking body as well too. And I mean, he was talking about like, well, this fella, this chap, like he was doing, he was actually swimming in the fucking spent nuclear fuel pools. And yeah, big deal, big fucking deal. Yes, you could get away with that. Yes, you could, 100% get away with swimming in a fucking nuclear cooling pool. 100%. Water is a fucking excellent shield against radiation. Excellent. That's why they use fucking water, man, because it's a great fucking shield. So you could actually get away with fucking swimming in if you can spent nuclear fuel ponds. I wouldn't do it too often now. I really wouldn't do it too often, like. But still, you could probably get away with doing it a few times. It's like big deal, big fucking deal, man. But anyway, that was what I took from allegedly Dave's interview. Like, not to knock the guy or anything, like, but fucking come on, at least fucking show those of us who have done a bit of research into some of these topics, at least show that you kind of know what you're talking about, and you know, if he had done a little bit more research into his plutonium and stuff like that, I might have taken his drinking piss thing a bit more seriously and given it a bit more consideration. But sorry, fuck off. I mean, like the whole drinking piss thing goes back a long way. Actually, it actually does go back quite a long way. I think it was about maybe 20 years ago I first started hearing the first people talking about drinking piss and back then, like it was described in a different way, like and the way, if I remember correctly, how it was described, and I can't even remember who it was that I was listening to at the time, was like that if you were to drink not like a whole pint of it or anything like that, but if you were to drink a small amount of urine, it would assist you in diagnosing some of the ailments that you might have, like at a particular time, and but now it seems that like the whole science around fucking piss drinking we've moved on from a method of diagnosing illness to it's the fucking be all and end all miracle cure of fucking everything. Is this okay? I want to see a bit more fucking scientific data and research on that now before I start taking you fucking serious. I tell you what, considering your fucking the amount of fucking research you've done into plutonium, I'll just wait for another little while until a few more people chime in, a few more scientists actually chime in, people who actually have some experience in researching these things before I'll start drinking a pint of fucking piss, guaranteed. Never mind anybody else's piss, right? And it doesn't mean that like piss doesn't have a fucking like. I mean, like there was no wives' tale about like how piss like sort of like it's a good cure for athlete's foot. Now, it's never cured my athlete's foot. I've tried it a number of times and it never fucking worked, but some people swear by it, so I don't know. It didn't work for me. But at the end of the day, I don't think I fancy the idea of walking around smelling like a goddamn fucking urinal 24 fucking 7, rub it on your skin. Fuck off, man. I'll tell you, at the end of the fucking day, like, there's a reason the body wants to fucking get this shit out of it's the body wants to expel this fucking shit for a reason, right? It's like it's not fucking rocket science, man. You're not trying to expel it out of your body to fucking put it back in. Like, it's like fuck off. Hey, you Miss Garvey. Come on, lads, we've all been to the local swimming baths and swallowed a gob full of the water. Who hasn't at some time had a piss in the baths? I never had a piss in the baths, man. No, I wouldn't do it, Matt. Like, I wouldn't put I wouldn't put it across a few people to fucking do it, but the average ordinary fucking Joe won't fucking do it, because it's just not something you fucking do. I mean, you wouldn't uh, at the end of the day, don't do unto others what you wouldn't want them to do unto you. If that's the fucking right way to say it, it's like you just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't like somebody to fucking piss in the pool that I was swimming. Although, like, obviously, like everybody tinkles a little bit at some stage, especially when you're giving it loads in the pool, man. Obviously, a bit is going to squeeze out, that's inevitable, but in general, like people won't do that, because they wouldn't like it to be done to themselves, Tony's saying, fuck social media should be called on social media because most folk you talk to are pure cons. Yeah, but social media is kind of like probably one of the worst places to be, Tony, at the end of the day. It's like, no, Chris, I didn't sign up to 666 threads yet. But whatever that is. I don't know, but we're probably getting close to 666 now, assuming the channel survives even at my under my careful supervision. We're fucking dead on arrival. But getting back to what Tony was saying, like about the social media, and social media is a military operation, right? It's a psychological operation, and this we have to fucking get a grip on, because whatever is going on social media, anybody who's deeply involved in social media is getting mind played, right? That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to fuck you here in the goddamn head, which is why anybody who has any fucking sense is doesn't spend a whole lot of time on it. Like, Tony, you know what I'm talking about here, man, because you left Telegram there not that long ago, and probably quite rightly so, because we're going to fuck with your head, right? Twitter is the same. Um, Shitbook is the same. They're all the fucking same. It's all 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, and it's all designed to fuck with your goddamn head. So is it any wonder that like the interaction and the conversation levels that are going on that platform are any other way than the way that they are? It's like it's designed to be that way, right? It's designed to create mass confusion, like, and it's really good at what it does. Like the people who have designed that done a great job. Like they know what they're fucking doing. Like, and let anybody who is let anybody who's susceptible to that level of manipulation, let them fucking loose on it. Let them there. Let leave them there. That's all you can. You can't fucking help these people, man. They'll spend the whole fucking day in, day out, fucking spouting left, fucking right bullshit. They'll spend the whole day fucking anti-pro, fucking LGBTQ, fucking the whole fucking day they'll spend at that fucking shit, man. And it'll just it poisons their fucking minds. But they'll never get it. They'll never understand that that's what the platform is meant to do, because it'll keep feeding you the negative side of what they know. They know exactly who people are. They know the type of people that are using it. They have a profile on them. They know how to fucking poke their goddamn buttons, man. So well, I think it's a thing of beauty. I think it's a thing of beauty, you know. And people think they're going to go on and change the fucking world on Twitter and Facebook by posting links to fucking. Nobody gives a fuck, man. Nobody reads your fucking links. Very, very few people are interested in anything that you fucking post on fucking on Twitter or Facebook. Nobody gives a fuck, man. They don't want to read. They don't want to fucking know. All they want to do is post fucking what they're having for dinner. That's all they want, man. That's it, man. And then poke fun at their perceived enemy, like whether it's left, right, whatever. You name your fucking poison, man. That's what it's for, man. It gives people an outlet, and it probably has its place. Chris is saying Telegram memes are the only way I keep up with the current affairs for me. Telegram is a cesspit. Telegram, I know I use it. I use it like myself, Chris. Telegram is a cesspool, goddamn cesspool of bullshit and fucking idiotic people, absolutely idiotic people. It's full of trolls. It's full of bots. It's like it is what it is. Like, but we do have a certain use for it at the moment. Like we can get a bit of use out of it at the moment. Like, but at the end of the day, I'll probably end up moving away from it myself at some point down the line. How you doing, Rob? Hey, Regina. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody here. I'll just take a quick scroll back just to make sure that I didn't miss any. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm up to date here. So, yeah, Telegram is a cesspit. I have to say, it's the worst place that I've come across in a very very long time. But at the same time, we still have a certain amount of freedom there for the moment. However long it'll last, How long will it be before it is banned in Europe and America? I don't think it will be banned in Europe because, like, it's a prime data collection point. It's like they get a lot of information about people on Telegram. They, there's a lot of profiling goes on. So I think it probably suits the data gathering algorithms that like Telegram stays as it is because they're able to profile people and they're watching everything that you post, everything that you say. So keep that in mind when you're using Telegram. It's not like a free speech platform. It is another it's another Twitter, right? That's basically what it is. It's another Twitter. It's another Facebook. Just be careful what you put out on it. Don't put out anything on it that might come back to fucking bite you in the arse a couple of years from now, like when all the data analytics come out, like because eventually the data analytics are going to come out, and everybody will know what everybody has been saying and fucking doing. This is where this is going. Like this technology, yeah, I suppose this is one of the scary things about this technology because um, we're all profiled on the technology. They have, you know, and especially with Telegram because it's linked to your telephone number, right? So it's like they've got great data on all of us. Like they have us all psychologically and I don't mean that they're watching you or me in particular, but like if they ever wanted to rewind, press the rewind button and say, okay, let's have a look at this fucking individual here. And let's take a fucking deep dive into what they've been saying over the last 20 fucking years online. They can do that, right? They can do it. So, like, when we're using these platforms, and especially like with all the new laws and stuff like that, they're trying to bring into into being. The hate speech laws, for example, here in Ireland. Now that's all on hold at the moment. It's all on hold here in Ireland at the moment. So they've deferred the debate on the topic of the hate speech legislation till autumn. Like, but it's still unclear whether it'll actually go through. It's to be honest, like I can't see it going through. It's more bullshit, more bullshit. But still, though, it's a good point. It's a good fear. It's a good fear topic, right? Because people are always worried about fucking free speech. We want our free speech and all this fucking shit, man. And they're going to try and nobody has any fucking free speech. There is no fucking free speech, right? It's a myth. It's bullshit, right? There is no fucking free speech. Never has been, you know. And yeah, well, you could have free speech, like, but you might fucking end up upside down in the goddamn fucking river someday with your throat cut after committing suicide after shooting yourself in the back of the head 5 fucking times. It's like, it's just, that's as far as free speech goes in life in general, right? Um, we have free speech to a degree, right? And it's always been this way. You know, it's always been this fucking way. And there's nothing new under the sun, as I like to think myself. There's nothing new under this sun. Like, uh, yeah. I'll try to keep up with the chat a little bit, like while I'm ranting in the fucking meantime. It's like, but free speech. Oh, sorry, Rob. I spent the last half hour tearing allegedly Dave a new arsehole. So I know I wasn't tearing him a new arsehole, but I had some questions about his ideas and stuff like that. So don't press rewind until after the show. You can flame me tomorrow on Telegram for what I said. Like, but no, I was kind to him. I was kind, but still, I had a few questions. So I did mention a few things about that particular show, but it was a good show in general. Like, but still, Some things he fucking said annoyed me, man. So what the fuck am I rambling about? What am I fucking rambling about? I don't know. I don't know. Um, we're chatting about free speech, right? Free speech. There is no fucking free speech. There never fucking has been, right? And that's just the way it is. That's just life. That's just life. And but still, at the end of the day, it's just one of these things. Like this new legislation that's attempted to be fucking railroaded through here in Ireland, and I think there's similar things going on in England as well too, and you got similar things going on in America. It's kind of like a global phenomenon, really, um, where you got this perception that you can't speak out about certain things. Like we know it all too well here on YouTube. Like where if you were to talk about a certain safe and effective thing, like you're really walking on thin ice, like and or if you were to say anything negative about trannies or something like that, you could be walking on very, very thin ice, and so there's this perception that we have free speech, but yet we don't, but the truth of the matter is, did we ever have free speech ever in the first place? I mean, there's always some narrative to be controlled, someplace, somewhere, um, for whatever reason. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's kind of irrelevant. Like the actual reason, but like has there ever been free speech? Have we ever had any freedom? Freedom and myth? I tend to think it is like, and it's something that's probably unattainable, maybe to a certain degree, because you know what, people love leaders. People people don't like to actually handle shit themselves. Like they prefer to delegate, and they're happier like with things being dictated from above. Like, and that's just the way of things. Like us here, like we probably kind of like we would prefer where everybody would be kind of sovereign in their own way, and but like that's we're a very, very small minority like who would have the ability to live in harmony like with our brothers and sisters. That's just the way it is. And but that's not the way it works with the majority of people. The majority of people are kind of immature. They don't know what to do, and they can't live without rules and regulations. And it's probably that's probably the right way to have it, like because a lot of them can't. A lot of them don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the computing power just to figure out what it takes just to be sovereign, just to even just to get through life without doing harm, injury, loss. It's a very, very difficult thing for a lot of people to comprehend. Like and without rules and regulations for these people, like we need gatekeepers. That's just the way of things, man. We need these gatekeepers because most people won't take responsibility for what they say or do in this life, and that's just the way it fucking goes, man. I called in to visit Mom earlier on, and she was watching. Mom always watched these court cases, right? Um, whatever channel she watches on Sky, she was watching a court case there today. American fella, a cop, right, who had he was up for murder, right? And what happened was he got this female pregnant. Um, I think it was a proper female. I don't think it was one of those ones with the bonus holes. I think it was a proper female that he got pregnant. But I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to do a bit more scientific research into it because I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, he merged the girl he got pregnant, cause and the baby. because she was asking for help, asking for money. She was in a bad way, and she needed some money. Like, well, obviously, like this cop didn't want his wife to find out that he had a fucking extramarital affair with this woman, and so he stabbed her fucking ridiculous amount of times, and the baby, and the baby. This is a cop, right? This is a cop. So this is the level of humanity that we're dealing with here. It's like they're not ready to govern their own affairs and live as sovereigns and as in a responsible way. Like they you know they can't get through fucking life without fucking causing harm, injury, and loss. It's so in a way, as much as we hate the fucking system, it does, even as ineffectual as it is a lot of times, like because in fact, like the legal system has actually gotten worse. Which I have a story that I'll cover in a little while about a court ruling here in Ireland. A very, very interesting one. But I'll get into that in just in a few moments. How you doing, Stephen? And let's see, did I miss anything? That twat Spanish chicken asked me if I was going to watch the show, and that twat ain't here. So, hello from the replay. Pass you twat, lol. bit of channel politics going on there. I think. Yeah, where the fuck is Spanish? I'll tell you what. I'll bet you. Knowing his fucking luck, he got fucking caught by a fox. He's now dinner for some fox now, I imagine. But yeah, the human race, as far as I'm concerned, the majority of them are just not there yet. They're not ready to take responsibility just yet, and that's why we have legal systems, we have laws, and and that's why we have guidelines, and because like for the vast majority of people, they're not ready to take responsibility, and so in a way, we have to have these laws. Sometimes people need to be told X, Y, fucking Z because they're just a little bit stupid. Just, it is what it is. Like, it is what it fucking is. And nothing we can fucking do about it. Like, all I can fucking suggest to them is like keep wearing those fucking masks and get your solar panels and get your wind generators because the end of the world is coming. But yeah, I wanted to read a little story, right? There is a story that I wanted to cover. Um, let's see if I can find it back. Yeah, we'll cover that in a few minutes too. Yeah, what's been going on here in Ireland at the moment? It's like, and I haven't been following it that closely because you know what? I couldn't give a fuck about what's going on in the land of Nod over here in Ireland because it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's the Irish news cycle is just fucking crazy. Like but um, what exactly has been going on here with our national broadcaster? Right, we have a broadcaster here which is called RTE, Radio Television Hearing, which would be similar to your BBC. Very, very same thing. No fucking different, right? Now, there was a court case that was going on over TV licenses, right? So basically, hold on. Let's see if I can get back to that. So basically, this is the I've got an article here from the grip.ie, and I don't trust the grip either, right? Although, like, it's spouted as being sort of like alternative fucking media. But I don't trust any goddamn alternative media at all. But Dublin judge was appalled and disgusted at RTE and TV license hearing. Now, just bear with me now. Well, I'm going to read through this. It's not that fucking long. It's not that long, but like, listen to the judge's words here. A Dublin District Court judge has slammed those he described as freeloaders in RTE. Stick in BBC there if you want, just for reference. Who he said were involved in shenanigans that had left him appalled and disgusted, while those before him for failure to pay a TV license were crippled by the cost of living. So this is a Dublin District Court judge, right? Judge Anthony Halpkin was presiding over prosecutions brought against those who had not paid their €160 annual television license fees at a special weekly sitting for that purpose. The judge said that he was disgusted and appalled by the recent revelations about the national broadcaster, the Irish Examiner reported. He's quoted here as saying, "The people before this court are accused of failing to pay the TV license fee, and these people may feel a little hard done by what they see, by when they see the RTE has abused statutory funding which is annually provided to RTE," he said. Now, this is in relation to a big scandal which is going on here at the moment, like where certain high-profile broadcasters, I don't even know their names are fucking irrelevant. Like, I think Tuberty was one. There's a few involved here. They were getting money out of a slush fund, right? They were getting paid something like 150 to 300,000 extra on top of their salaries. Where that money was coming from, I don't know. But my suspicion is that it might have been coming from pharmaceutical companies. But that aside, that's just me speculating here, right? So, so the judge discussed it. So he's again quoted here: "The people before this court accused of failing to pay TV license, and these people may feel a little hard done by when they see the RTE has abused the statutory funding, which is annually provided to RTE." He said, "I've read that already." He's continued quoted here: "The revelations have rocked the very foundations of the national public broadcaster and have sent not ripples but seismic shockwaves throughout the organization," he told the court. This is the judge here. Using the famed quote from Shakespeare Hamlet, he's quoted here again as saying, "There is something rotten in the state of Denmark." Judge Halpin said that phrase could apply to the shenanigans and mischievous activities that have gone on in RTE over the past number of years, of which we knew nothing. "I'm appalled and disgusted at such clandestine, secretive, and dubious goings on," would be the order of the day in respect of arrangements between RTE and the godlike personalities who seem to be above scrutiny. He also said that Dáil committees questioning the RTE executives had a difficult and grueling task in getting to the truth. Now, he's quoted here again as saying, "George Orwell, in both Animal Farm and 1984, was preoccupied with the way language can be manipulated as an instrument of control. The shifting positions of persons giving evidence before the committees is testament to this," Judge Halpin said. He's quoted here and continue and quote here: "In Animal Farm, Squealer, the pig, who was Comrade Napoleon's propaganda machine, abuses language by whatever means necessary in twisting and distorting rhetoric so as to justify behavior." He continued, "To get the right answer, one must ask the right question, or the facts will remain concealed unless otherwise uncovered by diligent and assiduous examination," Judge Halpin said. He's continue quoting here: Our dull committees have triumphantly succeeded in this regard, and there is more work to do. So, payback benefits. The judge slammed what he called the elitism and the exclusivity shown and demonstrated by the RTE ruling class. He described it as an anathema to the fundamental principles which underpin the freedom of the press and the trust engendered thereby of an independent, professional, honest, and responsible national broadcasting service, which is the backbone to any democracy. We'll continue quoting him here. Shame on those who have brought that about. I will go no further than those remarks. But I must say, those freeloaders in RTE who received the loan of cars, who received branded cars free gratis, spouses of RTE who were wined and dined and took part of events at the expense of RTE, and others who were lavished with such generosity ought to pay back to the organisation the euro equivalent of the benefit they received to help this financially strapped semi state body. Good point, because it doesn't. It's taxpayer funded, of course. He's continued quoted here. Also, those personalities and senior executives who received unconscionable sums of money should reflect on their position and do the right thing. In other words, pay the fucking shit back. Crippled with cost of living, addressing those before the court, he said it saddened him that those who are crippled with the cost of living have to swallow this unpalatable pill of the license fee, which they see that such a source of income is squandered and abused. However, he acknowledged that the law compels those with a TV to have a license. So he's quoted here saying, I will afford more time for those who need it. On post money may enter into an arrangement with you to pay by debit mandate or collect stamps so as to help with the expense of the license fee. He said, those who intend to do this, I will leave without a conviction, and those who will not turn up, I have no choice but to convict, but I will keep the fine to a minimum. Now, this is a good judge. This is a very, very honest, fair judge. They exist out there. They do exist out there. As corrupt as we do think that corrupt that we know the court system is, like there are good judges there. I thought that was very, very fair. It was very, very fascinating listening to a judge quote from 1984. Very, very fascinating. Like uh, I'm constantly sort of like when I come across these stories, I'm constantly thrown back like with how many good people there are actually in places of high power, right? Such as this judge, for example, right? Obviously, his hands are tied. It's contract law, right? He can't let people away, like he wouldn't be a judge for long, like. But he recognized he recognizes what's going on, and he's going to side on the people, even though he can't go outside. He can't be shown to so favored, especially when it comes to contract fucking law. You can't let them away. That's when you sign up to a contract. That's it. You know, people who have any sense don't enter into contracts with fucking nefarious corporations like the BBC or the RTE. This is. I don't have a TV myself. I wouldn't. I will never have to worry about a license or anything like that because you know what? I don't listen to any of their bullshit. But at the end of the day, I know there's a lot of negativity around what's going on in the fucking world, and it's like, and that's understandable. It's like sometimes there just seems like there's no fucking hope, But when I read stories like this, I see hope. How you, Mick H? Jerry, how you doing, Jerry? I'll just scroll back a little bit and just see. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody. Hopefully not. Anyway, um, don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm up to date with everyone. So as negative as fucking things seem, like, there's a lot of hope in the world as well too, right? Um, I mean, think about it. We have been captured by a bunch of communist fucking Marxists. All of us, like all of us here in the West, we're all under the same fucking bullshit, man. Like, it's a communist takeover of the fucking world. But I'll tell you what, it's coming to an end. It is coming to a fucking end very, very shortly now. And the culmination we will see in Ukraine and probably in Syria and places like that as the communists are kicked out. I think we will see this come to pass in our fucking lifetimes. But a lot of these people who are in high profile positions, man, they've got children, right? They have children. They have spouses, children, family members. They're not like the average normies, right? We're kind of privileged here on this channel. Like, we've done a lot of research. We know a lot of shit. Like, we've read lots of shit, man. We've exposed lots of fucking shit, man. More so than the average fucking person, like, who just gets along with their fucking daily life and just doesn't want to fucking know. But these people in high power, they've children, they have children, they have families, they have spouses, they have relatives that they love and care. They know what the fuck is going on. When you see a judge quoting fucking 1984, you fucking know that, like, no, we're not alone here. There are people in the right fucking places, man, who are in the same boat. They see what's going on. They see it fucking clearly what's fucking going on. And they don't fucking like it because they know what happens when the fucking communists take over. And it ain't fucking pretty. And we are so fucking close to that right now. We're teetering on the fucking edge, man. But we're not fucking dead yet. We're not fucking dead yet. And they can LGBTQ all they fucking like, man. But it ain't gonna fucking change the fucking fact of fucking biology. It ain't gonna fucking change the fact of nature. You can't escape these fucking forces, right? No matter how much you fucking propagandize this bullshit, right? It ain't gonna fucking work, man. It might work for a while. It might work to destabilize for a bit, but I think people are copping on. When I go around and I talk to fucking people outside in the so-called fucking real world, man, they don't buy any of it, man. They are well tuned in. Even the fucking normiest of the normies, they are starting to fucking wake the fuck up. I see that. I see that. Like, you know, they're noticing. They're noticing. They know it's all fucking lies, man. Even my mother gets it. My mother gets it now. She knows she's getting fucking propagandized on the TV. She knows it now. It's like, my mom is fucking 80 this year. She's 80 this month, right? And shh, between you and me, we have a surprise party coming for her shortly. So, for her 80th. So, shh, hush, hush. Anyway, but my mom gets it, right? My mom's really normie, like, but she gets it. She sees it now. And do you know what opened her mind up? It wasn't just me hinting at it, but she's been watching and paying attention to what's been propagandized on the TV to the general population. She sees it now for herself. And maybe I did help a little bit. I don't know. But she sees it now. So when an 80-year-old normie can get it, there's hope, right? That's why I won't go down the negative. I won't go down that negative route. Like, I can't do it, just yeah, Chris. We don't worry about likes, man. It's like, I don't worry about likes too much. Like, let me just check in on the Rumble. There's nothing going on in Rumble. Oh, be Jesus, there's a load of shit going on over in the Raconteurs website. I want to say hello to. Um, Elastic Nook, Amazing Noble, and Romantic Frisbee. Uh, there's a lot of confusion. Oh, Donegal Werewolf. How you doing, Denny, lad? How you doing, Denny? Sorry, I've been a bit remiss in my duties. I took my eye off the fucking ball. I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention to the other chats that are going on. So anyway, welcome, Denny. And I don't know who the other. Oh yeah, Amazing Noble is now known as Donegal Werewolf. That's a really really scary name. Really really scary name. But and we got James has just joined in chat. I wonder if that's our James. Is our James lurking on two chats? Holy crap! It's like yeah. But anyway, but I'm really hopeful for the future. It's like I ain't giving fucking I ain't gonna play into the fucking fear porn. No fucking way. Um, that's just the way it goes, man. That's just the way it goes. They want me to live in a state of fear. I'll go the other way. I'll actually go the other way, and I'm gonna be fucking forever fucking happy, even if I might not 100% trust that I'm feeling happy, but I trust I'm happy about the way we're going, right? Really, really happy about the way we're going. Um, the globalists are fucked, man. They whatever plan they have, it's off anyway. It's definitely off. It's not fucking working out for the cunts. Otherwise, Ukraine would now be flying the Russian flag. But Ukraine is still flying the Ukrainian flag, so they're still in the fight over there. And Russia are going to lose. Russia are going to fucking lose this goddamn fucking war. And it's a pity because the Russian people, I think, are okay. It's not their fucking fault, man. It's not their fault. Same as it's not the American people's fault. And it's the same. It's not the European people's fault either. So what we've got here is sort of like rogue fucking operators who have infiltrated and taken over every fucking goddamn country in the goddamn world. Schwab said it himself. Schwab said it himself. You know, we have infiltrated every fucking government everywhere in the world. And let's see how it fucking works out for you, Klaus. Can't wait to find out how it fucking works out for you in the end. Will you still get to keep your head? He probably will. He'll probably get to fucking die of old age like a fucking arsehole that he is. And our Fauci will probably get to die of grand old age too without ever being held to account. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like, so I don't get I don't get overjoyed about or I don't get overexcited about anybody calling fucking Nuremberg 2.0. It's just yeah, go on. Tell me when you let me know again when you get that far, and it's like, till now, I don't give a fuck, man. So many talking fucking heads out there talking bullshit, man. So many bullshit artists, all making money, all making great fucking money out of COVID still, right? Still making money out of it, right? They're all selling books. They're all on fucking tours and doing talking fucking expos and they're selling fucking herbs and extracts to fucking counteract the fucking spike. They're all making great fucking money out of it. Like, it's a cash cow, like the whole fucking thing. Like, and that's not saying people haven't fucking are not suffering. There's loads of people still suffering from all that bullshit, like, but it is what it is, you know. But anyway, nobody's going to be held to account. Nobody. So anybody fucking gets any fucking bright ideas that there's going to be some fucking sacrificial lamb offered up on the altar of fucking justice. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're at fucking war here. We're at war here. Who knows? Maybe some people might be disappeared quietly because they might know too fucking much, right? That could happen, you know. But as far as ever getting to the truth of anything, no. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. It'll be business as fucking usual. If Russia loses, that implies someone is winning. Yeah, it does imply someone is winning. Yeah. Um, it's not clear yet who is winning, um, Chris. It's not clear yet, but I'll tell you what, Russia ain't fucking winning, man. They're going down, I think. I think they're going down. Actually, I've got an article. I've got an article I want to cover from actually a Russian speaker, a Russian patriot. Right? I'll cover that in a little while because it's a very, very important one. Very, very long article too. So it's going to take me a little bit of time just to get through it, like but it's kind of like important. Like I have been sort of like following Ukraine, kind of like on the not. I'm not all in on not following it like that much, like, but I'm still. But what I've been doing is I've been trying to source some proper Russian speakers, right, to get an idea of what's going on inside Russia, what's going on with the Russian people, like where's their thought process? Because like all we get like is we get bullshit from fucking what do we get? We get bullshit from fucking pro-Russian fucking Telegram groups who all they do is like they spout fucking Ukrainian losses 24 fucking 7. That's it. Ukrainian this, Ukrainian that, um, killing the whole hooks or whatever the fuck they call them. Like, oh yeah, we've blown up these tanks. Like 24 fucking 7 coverage, but we're not getting much about what's been destroyed on the Russian side. So I've been trying to fucking get as many Russian commentators as who actually translate into English. So I have a little bit of a story from a Russian patriot, so-called Russian patriot. I'll cover that now in just a little bit when I get my cigarette rolls, and because I like to look at all sides. I listen to a lot of fucking sides, Chris. I listen to the Western narrative. I listen to the Ukrainian narrative. I listen to the Russian Telegram channel narrative. I listen to the alt media narrative, and now I'm starting to find some Russian writers, some Russian bloggers who speak from they they probably would class themselves as Russian patriots. So, and I'm getting a different perspective on what might be going on inside Russia. So I'm trying to take all this in, like it's like it's not fucking easy just when you're out here on the raggedy edge, like, and you don't know what's real and what's not fucking real, and you're getting fucking slammed with all this fucking propaganda, and like, a lot of it's propaganda. So I've been finding it kind of refreshing in a way to get a little bit of insight from actual English writing Russian blogger patriots, right? Put it that way. And I'll read a little article in a few minutes from that side of it. Like, I read a little bit last week from the same writer, like, and but he's leading me down little rabbit holes which I probably never would have found otherwise. From real Russian speakers who understand the language. It's fascinating what's going on inside Russia. It's not what we think. It's really not what we think at all. It's like the propaganda is still going on, like about Prigozhin and whether he was fucking compromised by the West or whatever. No, he wasn't compromised by the fucking West at all. I mean, Prigozhin is a big, very, very close friend of Putin, right? Very, very close friend. They come from the same town, right? No, no, they were in it together. Whatever was going on was to root out something that was inside going on in Russia. So I don't know. I can't. In time, we'll find out. Are we talking about nukes? We're talking about nukes. Holy shit, man. Yeah, don't you know? Nukes don't exist. Really? I don't know. I don't know. I believe nukes exist, right? But after all, I can get away with saying that because I'm the one that's coming on here talking shite for 2 hours, so I can get away with saying nukes don't exist. Who else is going to fucking argue with me and try to contradict me, and I'll fucking ban your fucking comments in the comment section. I will. I'll block you. Anyone argues with me at all, just say one word. Precaution cooks a nice curry. I don't know. I'll take your word for that, mascara. Uh, so it's like Afghan. It's all selling weapons. For 100%, James. 100%, James. It's all. This war is not what we think it is. This is like a test bed. This is this is their ideal opportunity to test out all the fucking new weaponry that they've got. And they're gonna fucking milk this. They're gonna milk it. Absolutely fucking milk it. They're gonna test out the new AI technology for running operations on the fucking battlefield. And this war is not going to be over fucking soon. But when it is over, it's the ones who have the technology is going to fucking win, and the ones who have the technology is not fucking Russia. I'll tell you that. They don't need nukes. They just need an IDEA of nukes. IDEA. Idea of nukes. Yeah, well, that's always been the way, hasn't it, Mascara? Yeah, it's always been the way. It's like it was always the deterrent, right? Um, it doesn't mean like that they can't use them. Like I mean, like you know, modern nukes, like they're small. They're not that destructive. Like they can do a lot of damage in a small area. If they use the small ones, like it's not like it have to be to wipe out a city or anything like that. Like but the idea of nukes that's the idea of them, a deterrent. Absolutely, absolutely. It's Gog and Magog. You've been listening to too much of that. What's your man's name? Fucking Israeli News Live, Stephen Ben Noon. He never stops about Gog and Magog and his fucking Bible fucking rhetoric. I'll tell you what, I don't believe any of it. Like, I don't believe any of that Gog and Magog shit. Like, it's all prophecy. If they want to fucking make prophecy come true, they'll make prophecy come true. It's just, you know, they're all full of shit, man. They're all full of shit with their Gog and Magogs. And that's one of the things that put me off about Trump, too. Like, when Trump brought in the Abraham Accords, it says, you stupid little fat cunt, man. That's that told me exactly what he fucking was. A fucking Zionist, man. And any fucking wonder with Jared Kushner as his fucking right hand man. Fucking Habad Lubavitch, and of course fucking Trump would be in there promoting the Abraham Accords. This is them trying to make Bible prophecy come true. It's one thing having prophecy, but like prophecies can be made come true as well. So it's a Gog and Magog prophecy. Wouldn't surprise me if it might magically come true at some fucking stage, man. Yeah, James. Yeah, Israel and Russia are up to their fucking necks in it. Like, absolutely, 100 fucking percent. This is the problem. This is what's going on in Ukraine. This is what's going on in fucking Ukraine. It's Israel, Russia, and China. The Belt and Road. That's what's going on here, and the formation of Eurasia, the Eurasia superstate. That's what's happening, and that's why fucking Germany got their fucking arses tanned. That's why they got their little pipeline blowing up. So, yeah, 100%. Hey, Paula. Hey, Spanish. Look, Spanish. Am I Ukrainian? Look, at the end of the day, man, there's no difference between Ukrainian and Russian. They're the one people, man. They're the one fucking people. Like, it's senseless that they're fighting with each other. It's senseless, you know. How the fuck that happened? I have my ideas. I have my ideas on how it fucking happened, but They're the one blood, man. They're Slavs. Just fucking hell, man. Ah, okay, Rob. I thought Paula was there. Uh, but yeah, let's see if I can get that little article up, right? If I can get that little article up from our fucking Russian correspondent, right? And I'm gonna read it like I could have done with half the fucking stories I had lined up tonight, but let's see, where did it go? Where did it go? And I mean, it's a kind of a longish article, right? It is a kind of a longish article, but I think it'd be useful. I think it would be useful just to. Oh yeah, yeah. Thursday was the anniversary of the Georgia Guidestones explosion. Still no resolution on what the fuck that was about. I think we can imagine that was a fucking warning shot to the globalists. I think we have a fair idea that, like, that the globalists put that up there as a marker. So the fact that it was blowing up, I think I would hazard a guess that, like, that was a warning shot across their fucking bows. Uh, but I think I remember I highlighted the whole load. I think I highlighted the whole load of this fucking article because it was just very interesting. This is a now just for context here. This is Rolo Slavskia, right? He's a Russian patriot. He calls himself a Russian patriot, right? But English writer, and so make of this what you will. I wrote a little. I read a little bit of his article last week as well too, but he put out another one. I've been following him like religiously now, so he's quite a good writer. He doesn't get perfect all the time. Like, sometimes you can see a few deficiencies in his English in his English translation, but that's okay. Like, we'll work around it. So, um, Rolo Soslavsky, this is written on the 7th of July 2023 with the headline Moscow will probably begin formal surrender negotiations by the end of the year. Right? Now, don't shoot the messenger here. I know Spanish probably the first instinct will be to shoot the messenger, but don't shoot the messenger, right? I'm just trying to get it. Lately, I've been just trying to get Russian sources if I could, like, and just get a different perspective than the alt media and the mainstream Western media. I just want a little bit of balance if I can get it, like, So just bear with me while I read through this. So he begins. First, we had Arestovich talking about planned negotiations between Russia and NATO and Kiev. But he could be ignored because, well, just because. And then Prigozhin came out and said the same thing. Also irrelevant. Only traitors like Rolo even bothered to cover the news. He's talking about Rolo here. He's talking about himself, Rolo, which is his first name. Rolo even bothered to cover the news. What took you so long, Copper? I have been gathering information for some more in-depth articles, and it has been slow going. I'll be covering the immigration situation in more detail. Got some interviews done about that prospects for Russian Western conservative cooperation. Oh, an article about old believers and their role in modern day Russia and the Bolshevik Revolution for the STA, whatever that is. I'm not sure what he means. That's obviously been cut off there. I probably should follow the link there, but anyway, I'm not going to do it for the moment. I just want to read through this. Then Kissinger came out and said that he was confident that the negotiations would begin by the end of this year as well. He also said that he believed they would spell the end of Putin. This is the guy who is considered Putin's old friend, and this is a fact. Putin and Kissinger are very, very old friends, so he's not bullshitting here. And a friend of Russia. He isn't. He puts in brackets here. He's talking about Kissinger here. He's not a friend of Russia at all. Saying this now he's quoting What he's doing here, he's quoting Kissinger. President Vladimir Putin may struggle to hold on to power if the war in Ukraine forces Russia to abandon military aggression and accept a peace deal with Europe, former US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger said. He continued quoted here. I would like a Russia that recognizes that its relations to Europe have to be based on agreement and a kind of consensus. And I believe that this war will, if it's ended properly, may make it achievable, Kissinger told Bloomberg's editor in chief, John Micklethwait, in an interview. Asked whether Putin could survive in power if the war ended on those terms, Kissinger replied, it's improbable. The veteran diplomat, I would say, never mind diplomat, communist, the veteran communist said it's important that Ukraine emerges from the war as a strong democracy and preferable to avoid the dissolution of Russia or the reduction of Russia's to resentful impotence that risks stoking new tensions. Translation: they fear a Russia nationalist coming to power. That's this is this is Rolo's insertion here, I believe. Finally, we had Lukashenko come out and confirm these rumors as well, just the other day, making his esteemed Eastern partners look bad. Clearly, he gets a kick out of it and is playing for his own game. Very skillfully, I might add. In a recent press conference with foreign and Belarusian media, President Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus expressed optimism for a potential shift in the Ukraine-Russia war by autumn, with the possibility of peace negotiations commencing. The Belarusian president also underscored the significance of seizing the opportune moment for dialogue, regardless of the choice of venue, be it Moscow or Minsk. He said, by autumn, the situation should change, and we will start talking at the negotiating table, perhaps maybe not in September, a little later. I don't want to give out any information, but the Europeans are already talking about this. France, Germany, most of all Europeans, and the beneficiary is actually one country. The main thing is to stop this conflict. The idea that there might be talks planned between the fascist occupiers and the Anglo-Satanists, however, shouldn't be surprising considering that preliminary talks have already been held. Now he goes on to quote an NBC News article. A group of former senior US national security officials has held secret talks with prominent Russians believed to be close to the Kremlin. And in at least one case with the country's top diplomat, with the aim of laying the groundwork for negotiations to end the war in Ukraine, half a dozen people briefed on the discussion said. In a high-level example of the back-channel diplomacy taking place behind the scenes, Russian Foreign Affairs Minister Sergei Lavrov met with members of a group for several hours in April in New York. 4 former officials and 2 current officials said. On the agenda, there were some of the thorniest issues in the war in Ukraine, like the fate of Russia-held territory that Ukraine may never be able to liberate, and the search for an elusive diplomatic off-ramp that could be tolerable to both sides. Meeting with Lavrov were Richard Haass, a former diplomat and an outgoing president of the Council on Foreign Relations. Current and former officials said. The group was joined by Europe expert Charles Kupchan and Russia expert Thomas Graham, both former White House and State Department officials who are Council on Foreign Relations fellows. Obviously, with Lukashenko now joining the chorus and confirming that talks are indeed planned, things are starting to look extremely grim for Putin. He has some brackets here. Who cares? Who cares at this point? Which is, and for the Russian people, unfortunate. Let us speak plainly here, he says. This SMO was an atrocity committed against all military logic, and what is worse, a complete political and military disaster for Russia. The situation is totally FUBAR and has been so since last summer. The cost can be measured in the huge numbers of Ukrainian and Russian soldiers that have died, not to mention the mostly unnecessary and senseless suffering of the civilian population, which will not remember Russia's SMO kindly. Russia is also much weaker now than it was before the SMO. Strategic ammo stockpiles were frittered away ineffectively. Many weapon systems that won't be replaced anytime soon were lost. The Russian economy has been hit hard by Western sanctions, almost as badly as Europe was. In other words, the American empire has already inflicted a mortal blow on the Russian Federation that will continue to bleed out for the foreseeable future. To be fair, though, they were helped along by the Russian spook community, the Russian oligarchs, and the Russian government, which is a merger of the two aforementioned factions, spooks and crooks, he puts in brackets. So the credit has to go to them too. Does that mean that surrender is a good idea, though? Well, I went into detail months ago explaining why this was a very bad idea here. So anyway, here's a should Russia surrender already? Um, yeah, I actually remember this reading this that the war is not going well for anyone except the people making money off of it. Ukraine, as a political project, is doing quite well, though. All of their political objectives are in the process of being fulfilled, even though this entails extreme suffering for the Slavs of Ukraine. Russians, as a people, aren't bearing the same extreme costs. But anyway, it continues on here. The situation has only gotten worse since I wrote my analysis. First, we learned through Lukashenko again that even when Moscow had troops parked outside of Kiev, the Kremlin was prepared to sign a very pro Kiev agreement, asking only to be allowed to rent out Crimea and Donbass. Also, presumably, they wanted their good friend Medvedchuk, who out of prison and reinstated in the Ukraine, as his assets returned to him. Um, Kiev, probably because of Washington's pressure, rejected this extremely conciliatory retreat offered to them by Moscow. Since then, though, the situation has only improved for them. He's talking about Ukraine here. Their armory is far larger, they have far more weapons, and they are still getting colossal amounts of money being handed over to them. They did not have this on March 29th when they refused the first peace treaty. Meanwhile, Russia is suffering from mutinies and demoralization on the home front. They haven't been able to go on a large offensive since last summer and continue to suffer from sabotage within their own territories, which the FSB, one of the world's most sprawling and intrusive spook networks, either can't or won't prevent. Interesting. The only good news is that Ukraine removed the competent General Zaluzny from his post over what appears to be internal political squabbling and launched an ill-fated initial offensive. They also got unlucky with the dam accident, Putin's words, but are now finally making some progress with their attacks. I believe that they were operating under the assumption that Washington would pick up the phone and get Shoigu to turn off the AD and surrender the entire territory without much of a fight, like he did in Syria with Wagner. But by the way, when I first wrote about this, I was using American soldier accounts who admitted that the Russian Ministry of Defense turned off their AD. What's the AD? With their esteemed Western partners asking them to do so, allowing Wagner to be blown to smithereens and resulting in the deaths of 200 plus Russians. There's a lot of strange stuff going inside the Russian ranks. Very, very strange stuff. I won't read too much into it. But Prigozhin, in his last video before starting the march, which I never got around to covering because of all the action alleged, the exact same thing. I don't think that he reads my blog or the American Journal where I found the story and spilled the story based on his own sources, which are Wagner troops. It's a shame that more people don't read my blog, just shy of 5,000 subs. As things stand now, after a year plus of writing pretty much every day, oh well, what can you do? I think I'm a good teacher though, albeit a bit short-tempered on occasion. Speculation aside, you could see what I'm driving at here. I hope scratch that I guess you can't assume anything like that with some of you. Sigh. Sometimes I feel more like a goddamn musician, teacher in the inner city trying to get the youths, the youths to learn how to do subtraction and not dissident patriot blogger or whatever. My class is called Remedial Russian. Okay, so bear with me here. And if you're getting impatient, please, as I bring the Toltec slowing to the rest of the class down up to speed. Consider if Moscow was willing to basically bend over backwards a year ago when the situation was far better, and no one knew that Putin and his friends were running a circus and not a government, what do you think the terms of any treaty would have to be now when Ukraine is about to get F-16s and Russia just suffered not a mutiny, right? Not a mutiny. He's written a few articles. So I'll post a link to this chap's blog after I read this, so bear with me just for a moment. The terms from a year ago were already unacceptable to anyone except Russia's and Ukraine's oligarchs and the liberals in the big cities who carry water for them. For the talks to be successful now, the terms would have to be Carthaginian for the West to sign off on them. We're talking full surrender of sovereignty here. Reparations, regime change. This much is obvious. And if you can figure this out, then you better believe that the Kremlinoids know it too. I bet that even the resident short bus kid in the Kremlin, Press Secretary Peskov, can figure this out as well. I assume that's a picture of Peskov there. Basically, if they go into these talks, it's all over. So let us hope that they do not. He is a patriot. He doesn't want them to go into talks with the West. But anyway, look, with all that explained, I'm ready to dismiss this class for today. If your brain's got a good workout already, feel free to pack up your things and go to lunch. They're serving microplastics in the cafeteria today. Yum. And those of you interested in the subject matter and who want to learn some more, though, stick around. Remedial Russia is finished. Advanced Russia is now in session. How much more of this am I going to have to go through? So I believe that these negotiations are a psyop aimed at deceiving Moscow. You can see how Washington might dangle the possibility of talks and a ceasefire to Moscow to basically lure them into a trap. I hope, remember, Russia's elites, all of them, even the hardliners that are willing to roll the dice on the SMO, do not want this war and are desperate to freeze, i.e., de-intensify, and stretch out the conflict while reintegrating with the West again. At every single step of the way, they have dragged their feet and fought tooth and nail against escalating the conflict. They do not want to launch a war economy. They do not want to mobilize a real army. They do not want to cut the gas and other raw material supplies to Ukraine and Europe off. And they do not want to permanently cut ties with the Anglo-Satanists. He's very clear he's not very impressed with the Anglo-Satanists. But anyway, this is a Russian speaker, by the way, right? He's a patriot, so keep that in mind. So basically, with these negotiations being dangled like a carrot in front of the oligarchs' faces, Washington can discourage hard but necessary measures being taken by the Kremlin. Because if Moscow believes in or wants to believe against all evidence that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, they will continue to do nothing but lose slowly and gracefully while thinking that there will be a way to save their asses via the negotiations. Again, Kremlin desperately wants to avoid having to do anything at all to change the current pro West, liberal, anti Russia status quo in the country at any cost. Just look at the Shoigu situation. Anyone else, even if they were not toppled, they would be fired anyways for almost bringing the country to civil war. But not in Russian Federation, apparently. In Putin's Russia, uh, as the liberals like to say, they don't even arrest the guy who tried to overthrow the government because, well, that's a great point. They never tried. They never tried to over. They never arrested Prigozhin. What the fuck was that about? Never. I will never figure that out. But anyway, he's a good friend of Putin, so trust the plan because they were all well and truly because they well and truly are just too damn moral for this world, I guess. But anyway, that's actually my favorite Russian writer at the moment. That's I'll post a link to this lad's Substack here. He's really worth a follow, and you'll get information there from him that is kind of like. Chris is asking, is Jimmy still running with the Wagner being the freedom fighters narrative? Um, I don't know, Chris. Look, I don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on with Wagner. Nobody. Nobody knows what's going on with bloody Wagner, what's going on inside Russia. Freedom fighters? No, they're not freedom fighters. They're bloody mercenaries. Very bad. They're very bad people. People don't realize. Prigozhin, he's a criminal. He's he's a drug warlord. He's a warlord. You know, he comes from the same town as Putin. They're all fucking KGB. They're all, which is now rebranded as GRU. You know, GRU would be their rebranded version, like So, freedom fighters? No, they're not freedom fighters. They're criminals, Chris. Absolute criminals, drug lords, warlords, and they're no different than our own warlords. It's like it is what it is. I mean, one man's freedom fighter is another man's fucking terrorist. It's just the way it works, man. It's like I don't know what else to say on the matter. But anyway, I just thought that was fascinating. I'm going to be reading more from Rollo as he brings out. He's a good writer. He's a very good writer. I like him. He's got an interesting way of putting things. I like his rhetoric, and he comes over to me like a real Russian patriot. And if he's an example of a Russian patriot, I will stand with the Russian people, 100%. Hopefully, they can get out under the yoke of the Bolsheviks at some fucking stage. Although I'm not going to fucking hold my breath. I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. But it is curious. It's very curious that like Ukraine and Russia are at war with each other. They're the same blood, man. They're the one people. Fucking hell, mad. But anyway, this has happened before in Russia. This, it's not the first time brother was put against brother in Russia. I keep thinking back to 1919 at the when the Tsars were murdered and the Bolsheviks took over and Russia was totally decimated. Their people destroyed, butchered. It's the very same thing happened to the people of Ukraine. And we have to take all this history, and when we're looking at what's going on in Ukraine, we can't just look at one side. We have to look at both sides. And the Ukrainians have a good reason to hate the Russians as well too. But however, that doesn't negate the fact that they're still the one people. And well, whatever. It's like we'll see where this goes. We will see where this goes in time. So I'm not cheerleading any one side, Chris. I don't want to be a cheerleader for any one side. I feel the pain on all the fucking sides of it, to be honest. It's not a pretty situation. Not a pretty situation at all. But I think when push comes to shove, if I were to be put into a situation where I was to choose a side, I couldn't choose a side. I would I would help the Ukrainians, I think, and that's big. That's been a big step for me, like because all I seen was NAZI. That's all I seen for a long time until I started looking into the history of the two countries, and it's no longer clear anymore what's right and fucking wrong anymore. It's no longer clear to me. Um, shit, I should have gone full screen. Yeah, things are not as clear to me as they were a year ago. I'll just put it that way. So let me just check over in the raccoons. Hello, Johnny. I didn't say hello to Gonzo Johnny over there on raconteursnews.com. Um, apologies for not keeping in closer contact with what's going on over there. But what I'll do now is I will I will open the lines up for anybody who wants to join in, and I'll get the link. I was rambling a good bit tonight now because and I had a load of stories. I had a load of fucking stories, but I only got to cover two of them. But it's enough. Like it's fucking enough. It's it was nice covering that story from Rollo Slavsky. I'm just delighted, man. I'm delighted to be able to get. I'm actually building a little repertoire of good Russian speakers now. People who are Russian patriots. And I really, really need to. That's the missing link for me. That's the missing fucking link for me. I can get any amount of fucking Ukrainian information. I can get any amount of disinformation from fucking Telegram, and I can get any amount of disinformation I want from fucking Western sources. And in between all the fucking dark lines, there is still some truth to what everybody's fucking saying. But the only missing piece now is the Russian side of it. So over the coming over the coming weeks and months, I'm going to be paying closer attention. I'm going to be paying closer attention to the Russian side. I want real Russian people's views now, and and don't get me wrong, I have Russian I have Russian speakers. I have connections with Russian speakers as well too, who are on the American side, and they're all in on the Russian side. Russia's winning. Russia's winning. They're all in on that, like But I don't believe them either. It's like I'm trying to get as broad a picture as possible of what the fuck is going on here, because clearly, like if you're just going to follow fucking one side or the other, you all you're going to get is just misinformation, right? So um, the the larger the fucking net we can fucking throw, the probably the closer to the truth we might get. Like in the end, like, and we'll be there before everybody else. Like if we just stick to the fucking plan and and just get as broad a fucking perspective as possible of the whole fucking battlefield, like and it's very very interesting what's going on in Ukraine because it's clearly it's nothing got to do with Ukraine. This war has nothing got to do with Ukraine. It's a battle for Eurasia, and the battle is won, and the globalists have lost, absolutely lost, and we should be thankful. In a way, we should be thankful, but at the end of the day, we don't know who's going to be replacing the globalists. That's the thing we don't know yet, and so we shouldn't rest on our laurels. I'm not ready to rejoice just yet, like because there's clearly this is not going to be over anytime fucking soon. We could be in this fucking phase for who knows. Maybe Rolo's right. Maybe by the end of the year there might be a resolution to what's going on in Ukraine. Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully for the people there, there might be a resolution by the end of the year. It's like you know, it's only civilians suffering fucking war. It's only civilians that really suffer. It's like soldiers at least they sign up for it, man, and they know what they're getting into, like but it's civilians always get caught in the fucking crossfire somehow. But anyway, there we go. There's the link for anybody who wants to come into the after chat or even come in for the last. Actually, we're down to the last fucking 5 minutes, man. Fucking hell, where did that 2 hours go? Um, Time doesn't belong fucking flying by, to be honest. So I'm chucking the links in here, there, and everywhere. They're gone into raconteursjuice.com. They're gone into over at the Rumble site, and their links are gone in at the YouTube site. In the meantime, I will be doing my best to try and keep us on fucking track. I don't know where we are on the road to 666. We can't be far off it now. We must be fucking within a show or two of 666. And hopefully, like, we might be able to, I might be able to get to 666 anyway without getting our fucking channel kicked off the interzones completely. Although I'm a fucking live wire sometimes, but I'm going to try and stay away from any fucking topics that might trigger some. So when it comes to LGBTQ, when it comes to Jabberwockies, all that sort of stuff, you'll be getting very, very sanitized information from me because I don't want to kill this fucking channel. So, and as much as I'd like to talk about certain topics and talk freely, I'm not sure where the grey lines are. So, I'll be just keeping it fairly sanitized. I'll just keep it simple, and we'll see if we can get through all this fucking bullshit, and maybe the fucking censorship will lighten up in a couple of years. Who knows? Then again, pigs might fucking fly too. You wouldn't know. And I'm not sure whether Spanish wants to join in or not now, but how you doing, bro? No. I take that as a no. He'll join in when he's fucking ready. But what I'll do is I'll wind up now. Thanks for tuning in for tonight. If I didn't say hello, if there's anybody I fucking missed, my apologies. We'll be back here again next Saturday night. It was been lovely. Uh, talking shite for 2 fucking hours, man. And I know I missed a hell of a lot of your conversations because, as I say, like a few of the articles were quite lengthy and stuff like that. So shit happens, right? So we'll see you next Saturday night, and much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And don't forget, drink your fucking piss, right? Don't forget to drink your piss. Anyway, good night.